right, so welcome back to Skin Deep Stories, where we talk about motherhood and tattoos and all the chaos in between.
Lots of chaos.
I love our topic today.
Yeah.
Okay, I love our topics every day, but this one even more because it's stuff that I really like to do at the shop, and I don't think every artist likes to do it. So you want to tell us about what we're talking?
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about cover-ups, reworks, revamps, laser, and the difference, like the definition of what they all are, and like the difference and in helping guide people like on the steps to take for basically the shitty tattoos that you have that you don't like, because we all have them. We've talked about before, we've all gotten tattooed in the past, when before all the technology changed, before a lot of the knowledge kind of expanded. And
back old school with the old materials and the old machines that had super heavy lines that are now just either blown out or faded or so we want to talk a little bit about the difference between all of them, right? Because a client can come in and say, I want a rework or a cover up or a blast over, but they can sometimes not know what those terms really mean. And most of us who've been tattooed from like the late 90s, early 2000s, they need a little love at this point. They've been in the sun, they've faded out, we've had kids, skin has stretched. There's so many reasons why we can rework a tattoo or revamp a tattoo or worst case even cover it up. So where do we want to start? Which one?
How about cover-ups? Because that's like probably the most known and like most common. So I'm like...
let's start with your story.
Well, my chest piece that I've talked about before. So just personally, like... I got a chest piece done by someone who didn't know what they were doing. They were inexperienced. It was just a really bad situation. And then a few years later, I got it covered up partially by another guy who's a fantastic artist now. And he was pretty at the beginning of his career back then too. So it was about like 15 years ago, I'd say. And he did a good job with what he had, but it's not something I would have chosen. So that, oftentimes cover-ups, it's not...
You're limited.
Yeah. Yep. So, of course, like, I had, like, a banner, and then, like, there's only so much stuff you can put over.
It was already so big.
Yeah, so we did, like, wings, like eagle wings with a rose in the middle, but, like, that's not something I would have chosen, especially, and they're spider webs, which I hate on my chest, but he did what he could. Anyways, I still didn't like it. And
it's funny because that one tattoo, so your chest piece was an original like old school tattoo. Then it was a cover up. Yeah. Then it kind of, did you get it reworked in between too?
Yeah, so
you got it reworked.
I think we did like half like one wing, and then we did like the other wing a couple of years later. And then I have roses on my shoulders also, and I had them like recolored by another guy years later. So it was a lot of like layers of ink.
So it's kind of funny because you've on that one tattoo had the cover up, the rework, kind of revamping, and now laser.
Yeah, and now I'm lasering it off. So I've only done 2 sessions, and like,
so your wealth of knowledge in this area is fabulous because you've been through it.
Personally, but it's funny because I was gonna say like cover-ups, I'm scared of them, and luckily like my sister-in-law had a lot of tattoos, I've done most of the cover-ups on her. Yeah. So she's thankfully given me a lot of experience doing cover-ups, and she's kind of just like, whatever you do is better than what's there. So,
which is a great way to start doing cover-ups, just because
it's scary.
People don't. So especially when you first start doing cover-ups, because it depends so much on the integrity and how dark and how deep and how raised and how scarred the old tattoo is. Not everything is going to work as a cover-up. It just won't. And often we get people now who really want like the soft black and gray realism or fine line that won't hide an old tattoo, especially the old ones from 15, 20 years ago where the lines were a lot thicker and a lot darker. So often we can suggest doing a couple lightening sessions like you're doing. Like you don't even have to get it fully removed, but to lighten it enough that it opens up a lot more possibilities, because otherwise you're limited. You're limited with what's going to work. Yeah. Because the rule of thumb is you have to hide the old tattoo in the darkest part of the new tattoo. So for me, when I talk cover-ups with people, I usually try and suggest, let's do something organic. Let's do something, usually we go to like florals or feathers or something that I can manipulate the shape of. Like if we do something solid and geometric, some of those lines are going to show through a lot more than if I can hide them in like the shadow of a leaf or the shadow of a petal or the center of a sunflower, or because I need to find the darkest part of the new tattoo to hide the majority of the darkest part of the old tattoo, and then still make sure that my lines can either reline up with the lines that are already there, because if we try and put like yellow or orange or certain colors are not going to cover black. So the way, and I use this example a lot with clients, is if you have a black wall, you have a painted black wall, and you want to repaint it, you're going to have to prime it. You're going to have to put a layer of paint, and chances are it's going to show through, it's going to bleed through, it's going to be like, and kind of the same idea with tattoos. Like there's certain colors that are not going to cover black. So there's a lot to consider doing a cover up.
And another like element too is like not only like hiding what you want to hide, but also like drawing the eye elsewhere. So like the highlight, or like, you know, kind of drawing the focus away from like the cover, because sometimes it is still like visible, you know, ideally not, but in a cover up, but like, it's also like taking the focus off of.
In most cases, you're still going to see some hint of the old tattoo, especially somebody who's worn the tattoo forever and you know exactly where it is, you know exactly what size it is, you know exactly the shape. Chances are a full, perfect, 100% opaque, saturated cover up is nearly impossible. It is. It's not impossible, but it's extremely difficult.
Especially if it's like raised, like you said. Like people, you know, if it's blown out and you can see like that the tattoo's raised, you're always going to kind of see that.
That's what happened with mine. So I covered 2 tattoos, not because I didn't like the subject, but because they were in the way of the new tattoo that I wanted. So my first little tattoo that we talked about was a little tiny orca, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, just on my, not tramp stamp, on my hip. So it was a little horizontal, it was a horizontal little orca. And then like a year later, I got a shark, it was a vertical shark swimming, which is like old school. I literally picked that one off a wall, but I loved it. It was a silhouette of a shark. So again, orcas and sharks, nothing, I love the subject matter, that never changed. But the first one that I got was raised. It was scarred because it was done so heavy. Again, 99, 2000, done with an old coil machine. So it was raised. You can still feel it. And when I covered it with the bigger orcas, you can still feel the original little orca under. Like, I know where it is, but anybody else looking at it would have a really hard time. Would have a really hard time spotting them. I can still see the bottom part of the shark like hidden in the coral. So like I know where they are, but like you said, it's to draw the eye and distract so that your eyes and so I can point them out and people are like, oh okay, I can kind of, you know, you can still kind of see it through.
So that's like the definition. Like a cover up is completely hiding your old tattoo so that it's not visible. So that's like the definition of a cover up versus like we'll go into like a rework. A rework is an old tattoo that you have, and if you just want to like make it kind of more bold again, like redo the lines,
we see those
redo the color.
We see those with sentimental tattoos. So like you have a couple that like older ones where you're like, I don't want to cover them. I still love them. I still love the meaning. I still love the memory attached, which that's the goal of tattoos for me, is that your memory attached to the tattoo is what
you love.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't want to erase that memory, erase that piece, but the lines are old, the color's faded, it's not as sharp as it used to be. And so reworking a tattoo is literally just breathing new life into it. And the analogy I use is like if you buy an old house that has really good structural, like really good bones, and then you just kind of renovate it. You slap some new paint on it. So in this case, we put some new ink, but just bring it back to vibrant, bring it back to sharp, bring it back to, and I think that's one of my favorite things to do is when somebody has a super sentimental tattoo and it just needs a little love.
And clients are so happy.
Because
with like, oh my God, I'm so happy with it and it looks so much better. And like the before and afters are so nice. And it feels really nice to kind of bring those back to life.
Especially the ones where like, they're especially memorial pieces are the ones where it was gotten in a moment where you really want to just, it touches on the emotion and you can bring all of that back. And we get that reaction when people look in the mirror going, oh my God. Like I remember the little, Wizard of Oz Dorothy shoes that I did that were super, super faded, like
Janet.
red. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And we turned it into little glitter tattoos. And I'm like, do you want me to make
Those
them
were
glittery?
so cute.
And she's like, you can do that? And I'm like, yeah. And we breathed new life into it. And it looked like a whole brand new tattoo. And for me, I love those because for some reason, it's just, those are less challenging. All the information's already there.
Oh my God.
So
fun.
For me, that's a day where it's like, color. You know when you get like a blank coloring page as a kid and you can pick anything you want?
Yeah.
And this is just, it's kind of like that for me. Like you still...
Your guideline's there.
Yeah, your guideline is there. There's certain colors, like I can't cover purple with yellow. It's just not going to happen. So if there's still the hint of color, we still have to go in that range. But again, if it's like light blue, we can definitely put in purples now, or we can put in a bit of magenta. So we can even kind of just change it up. So I love the reworks.
Yeah. So reworks, and then let's go into like the blast over, I guess, or
So we don't see those
or
as...
rework or revamp.
Yeah.
Or
okay,
two
so
works.
Yeah, let's define those.
Yeah.
So a revamp is basically what we were just talking about, where we revamp the tattoo.
Right.
We bring it back up, we bring it back. And a rework is when you do that, you bring that one back up, but sometimes you might change the composition slightly.
Okay.
So you might either, let's say it's an old rose, you might add in a couple of leaves, or you might add in some swirly lines where you rework the composition slightly. So either by adding to it, by changing the color, by drawing the eye somewhere else, so that's reworking a tattoo, whereas revamping is like I'm taking exactly what it was and just making it look sharper and new again.
Exactly. And rework is like the client's open to some changes.
Yeah.
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 Cool.
And blastovers.
Blastovers.
You haven't done a blastover yet, eh?
No.
Yeah, it's not as common, I guess, because blastovers usually happen when somebody is really tatted. Like they're running out of blank canvas.
Yeah.
They've got old tattoos, and now they want to incorporate old tattoos into like a new piece and a new design without losing the old tattoo.
Yeah.
So
give an example.
Try and wrap your head around that. So I had a client, Melanie, who she had these old she started going more into like kind of the dark black work, kind of creepy vibe, which was awesome. But she had these like bright red roses, which she still liked, but wasn't fitting into her kind of new direction of all the work that she was getting. And so she wanted a huge spider, like a huge creepy gothic spider. And I'll try and find a picture of it and then we can post it.
Yeah.
But it was like this like skeleton spider creepy thing. I have no other way to describe it. But we utilized the roses that were underneath to create the patterning on the spider.
Cool. She just didn't want that to be like the central focus anymore.
Exactly. So now it's like we're like all that patterning behind it almost looks like a tattooed spider. And there was also Melanie where I did a huge piece on her abdomen, and she had like a couple of old,
really I remember
old,
that. Wasn't it like a gargoyle or something?
Yeah, it was like a
demon
gargoyle thing with the little zombie teddy bear.
Yeah,
and really cool, fun piece. But where the demon gargoyle thing was, she had all these old tattoos, so we made it look like a sleeve wow. So like this demon is like fully tatted with the sleeve because we utilized her tattoos from underneath instead of blacking them out.
Yeah,
we just made it look like it was part of.
So cool.
And yeah, that's more difficult because you got to make sure you line up your stencil where it makes sense with the placement of the body and also uses like what's there. So that's where stencil play and sizing.
Stencils make me more nervous than the tattoo. Always. Oh my God. It's so stressful laying the stencil. Like that's, I like get so sweaty and like it's happened where like, and you're like have to stay calm, obviously, like you're with your client. But I've had to lay a stencil like 7 times, and it was like something so simple, but it was like right in the middle of the forearm.
Oh, the twisty.
And I started to like freak out a little bit, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, and then
it's not working.
No, yeah. And like, but then doing the tattoo.
Oh yeah, by that point,
not phased.
By that point, we're like,
yeah.
I wonder how many artists. I'd be curious to ask, like, how many artists, anybody who's listening, whether they have the same stencil anxiety, but the tattoo I calm when I'm tattooing.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy when I'm tattooing. I go into like the zen zone. But the stencil placement, because that's your roadmap.
I can tell what you can tell when I'm flustered, and I can tell when you're flustered.
Robin had a day like that the other day. Beautiful piece he did. Oh my goodness, it's a Medusa.
Oh yeah, and I'm working on it.
He laid the whole stencil, but the mouth smudged. So he's like, okay, I'm just gonna redo it.
Like the entire stencil.
So yeah, because
was it a back piece too?
No, full upper arm piece.
Okay, yeah.
And So he's like, oh, I'll just redo the stencil. But then he had that first stencil was perfect except for the mouth. And he's like, oh, I'll just redo it. But he couldn't.
Instant panic.
He couldn't get it back to where, I think it was 6 or 7 times he did that stencil. And even him after 20 years, he's like, I should have just left it and then like just erased the mouth and just redid the lips, because at 5-6 times now you've gone back to the printer, your client's waiting. Like, I think it's because we don't want to make them wait.
Yes, 100%. Any job I've ever done is like, hurry up, be quick and fast, efficient service. And it's like, this is just not like that. And I have to like really get that out of my brain.
And yet every time we redo the stencil, clients are like, I really appreciate you taking the time, and they see the attention to detail and they see the perfectionism. And I keep trying to tell myself, why am I getting flustered? Like, this is how I'd want to be treated. Yeah. I don't mind if it takes 20 minutes, half an hour, even an hour, if it's not going to bug me for the next 40 years, like, or it's going to be slightly off. But yet we're still like, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to do it one more time.
Because we're like that people pleaser. Like, we don't want to take up too much time, or, it's just something that we have to work on.
I love that everything is just like a work in progress. But how many times, what was the longest you've ever taken to like lay a stencil?
Probably that time it was just one word on the middle of the forearm, and it didn't look right no matter what. That was like,
those are some of the hardest though, I find.
Probably an hour just for one word. Like, and but it's stressful.
But the long, linear, single word ones, I find, are more difficult than one that's way more complex and organic. Because anything that's like a perfect line on a 3D surface, especially forearms, people don't realize they twist. Yeah.
No matter what you do.
Whatever position you put your arm in, and when we do people want quotes or like Roman numerals or... So, like, part of it will be straight, but then as soon as they go like this, it completely twists out of shape. So I'm like, you have to show everyone your tattoo exactly like this, okay?
Exactly.
But, I think it was with Vincent when I was doing his wolf tattoo, and that was a cover-up, too. It was an old-school wolf.
When you painted on?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
So I could not get the stencil to lie right. It was not wrapping. It was warping the trees because it was around, like, I was trying to wrap it around the base of his arm, and so... I finally looked at him and I asked him, I'm like, do you trust me? He's like, I'm here, aren't I? I'm like, I have an idea. And he's like, what's that? I'm like, I'm going to paint it on you. He's like, with like paintbrushes? I'm like, yeah. I said, I have my reference. I'm going to freehand paint it. And I made my own stencil ink. So what you do is you take like a thermal sheet with some rubbing alcohol and you wet it down. And then I was literally dipping my paintbrushes in it and I painted on the whole bottom part of that tattoo by hand. And so it took a lot more time than but I was getting so frustrated with the stencil.
The result is amazing.
And I had a blast. I want to do that more. Like painting, like taking the time to custom paint on anybody wants that, talk to me, because I like do some
hit her up. I don't know if I'm there yet.
But there is no way that's not super custom because it's brushstrokes, right? So I painted. So like I was like channeling Bob Ross. I'm like happy little trees and some mountains and some rocks and
everyone loves Bob Ross.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's where a lot of us started as artists. But I painted that one on, and
crazy.
Yeah, and that was another tough one because he had an old wolf tribal tattoo up top, so it was like the black tribal with like a howling wolf face.
Super hard to cover.
And the color of the wolf face, I don't know why, but it faded out to purple. Like it was pinky purple.
That's what I was gonna say when we first started the episode. Like we were talking about old tattoos, and like a lot of them look green or blue or purple.
Yeah, it's the base in the inks and how they fade out. So again, with sunlight, especially any UV light, sunlight is going to fade your tattoos. It's like, when you have a couch that's up against the wall that has like a beam of sunlight that comes in every day and it fades out that section, or you move the carpet and like it's darker wherever the chairs were.
Yeah.
Same with tattoos. Yeah. It's color fading, and some will fade to greens, some will fade to blues. Different inks are going to fade out based on what was in them. So,
so speaking of fading, the next we went over cover-ups, reworks, revamps, blastovers, and there's also, as I mentioned about my chest, laser. Yeah. So we've said before, our bosses own and operate Azalea Laser Clinic in LaSalle, so they do tattoo removal. Yeah. So that's a great option for people who, want, like, they have a good idea for their cover-up and it's dark enough and all that, but like you just want to lighten your tattoo just enough. So I think that's what I'm gonna do with mine. Yep. I've done 2 sessions and I thought I would remove it completely, but now that it's really light, I'm like, oh man, and I'm working on my sleeve, so I think I'm gonna end up just tattooing over it. But that's a great option for someone that's something really dark, and you have an idea.
Yeah. Pick your laser removal person really well. Read up on who they are, because different laser machines are going to have different results.
Yeah.
There are different qualities of laser machines.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some very bad healing with different lasers, or you have to go for 10, 11, 12 sessions.
Yeah.
So the laser that they have at Azalea, I joke that it costs almost the same as my house.
Yeah.
But they really invested in the top quality laser.
The Quanta?
Yeah, it's the Quanta Q. Oh, I'm gonna mess this up.
Yeah, oh no. We'll put it in.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description. Yeah. Anyways, it's Quanta something. You can look up Azalea Laser Clinic if you really want to know. But they were really smart in what they did. Was they really went top of the line with the laser, because you'll get better results in less sessions. Mm-hmm. And let's be frank, laser removal hurts like hell.
Yeah.
There is no two ways about it.
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
So now when I see someone, because I'm doing such a large surface, the first time I did it, I did no numbing cream. So they give you the option at the clinic of purchasing the numbing cream. Same with like tattoo numbing cream. You put it on like an hour before your appointment, put saran wrap on it, let it soak into your skin. The first time, because I'm a psychopath, I'm like, I just want to see what it feels like. I'm not gonna wear numbing cream. I have a pretty freaking high pain tolerance. Because of, like, I guess being tattooed there, and, like, but being tattooed on my chest was also, like, one of the most painful things I've ever felt, and the laser's worse. Yeah. Yeah.
So that tells you, it takes it up a notch.
It doesn't take as long.
Yeah.
So the first session was 22 minutes in all, with, like, and, okay, stop. Like, I need a second.
Breathe. Yeah.
Okay, go. Like, so, little pauses once in a while, but...
Mary even said that's one of the longest sessions. 22 minutes for removal is a lot.
And then the healing, too. Intense.
So the healing of it, it's sensitive.
Yeah, so it like bubbled because if you have like white pigments or like really light pigments like yellows and whites.
The opaques, yeah.
Yeah, so those will like bubble sometimes. So it was a little bit uncomfortable for like the first day. It felt like a bad sunburn, but
a little blistery.
So don't do it in the summertime. You don't want to do like literally my last session was I'm due like now.
Yeah.
For my next one, but my last session was in like April, I think, or May, like before it gets even hot out. Because you don't want to be in the sun at all.
No sun, and you don't want to be tanned.
No.
You don't want to be tanned. You don't want, like, there's so many things. You can't be taking creatine. These are other things, like, things people don't realize.
Yeah.
But there's so much. So this is why we're saying pick the right laser technician, somebody who really knows the ins and outs, because it's a tough process. Mm-hmm. It's a difficult, it's painful.
Yeah.
The aftercare is super important. There's certain numbing creams that are not recommended because the reaction that it's going to have after. So there's really do your homework and research, because how many people have we seen at like 9, 10, 11? Like, that's a lot of sessions and a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if you're smart and do your homework and go to the proper person who really knows what they're doing and really knows your skin,
it can be efficient.
It can be very efficient.
My friend works at a plastic surgery clinic, and she was like, "Oh, I have the best cream for you. It's like I can't even tell you what it is, but she's like, it numbs you completely, like for surgery, or like injections or whatever, And Mary was like, "No, we can't use that."
Over the laser.
I'm like, damn it. So the first time I didn't do the numbing cream, and it was really, really intense. My body like went into convulsions. Like, it was. I don't want to scare people, but that's what I was gonna say before. Yeah. That's what, when I see people with a tiny, like, Chinese letter or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I don't like it anymore." I'm like, "Oh my God, go get it lasered. It's so worth it."
It is definitely worth it.
To see the results. And I'll see, like, I don't know what camera is the best, but I'll show you. So I've done 2 sessions. This one? Okay. I've done 2 sessions, and it's really, really light.
Especially the color in those roses is gone.
Yeah, I'll try to post.
We could
include one.
We'll take some still photos of like the before and the after,
because wow, it really, really lightened. I'm so happy with the results. And another thing, a lot of places will tell you to go back like every 4 weeks or something.
Don't do that.
Your body, which I didn't know this, and it's super interesting, your immune system is what breaks up. So the laser initially breaks up the ink particles, but it's your immune system that continues flushing them out of your system. So it's useless to go back every 4 to 6 weeks or whatever they recommend. You're wasting your money, essentially. Wait 4 months between your sessions.
Let your body do it, right. So it's that timeline. But like you said, it shatters the pigment. And old black ink is one of the easiest to get rid of.
Yeah. So the older the tattoo, the better.
Yeah.
For
the
laser
older the
too.
tattoo, the better. Newer, it's harder. Certain colors are a little bit more difficult, and it depends on the wavelength of the laser that's going to break up those particles. So this, again, is stuff people don't know.
They use crystals in the machine. Yeah. It's insane. People who
the
like don't believe in
amazing.
the people who are like, oh, crystals, you know, it's like literally it's like certain light frequencies.
Yeah, welcome to science and art. Gotta love the blending of science and art. But how many times has somebody come in for a consultation for a cover up, or mostly for cover ups, and I'm like, what you're wanting to get won't work with how dark or how deep or how whatever it is now. And I recommend often, I'm like, just go do 1 or 2 sessions, and then it's going to open up so many more possibilities of what's possible as a cover up. And like Robin had a client recently who came back in and went, is it light enough yet? And he's like, one more. Just do one more. She's like, oh.
And it's fun that they're so close, because we're like, we'll do a consultation. We're like, just 2 blocks over is the clinic. Like, go do a free consultation there.
Yeah, get some info.
And so it's by like square inch. So Mary will take like a little, measurement thing and like tell you, the range of how much it'll cost per session. And it's a really, really great option if done properly. And it can really give you the end results you want. And again, it's an investment.
It is an investment. But what I keep trying to tell people is, if you throw a cover up over it now and you're compromising on what you really want because you're just really tired of that old tattoo, I'm like, what is a year to a year and a half in your life? But we're in a very instant gratification time where everybody wants, like, oh, I just want the result now. This is a slow process. It's a timely process. It's a costly process. But I'm like, why settle? Like, if you throw on a cover up now that you're already compromising on just because you don't like the old tattoo, chances are you're probably not going to love the same way. You're not going to love this one either. So take the time, lighten it up, open up your options, get something you truly love, because again, you've got 20, 30, 40, 50 years left of your life. A year now, to me, it's worth the time and the investment. And again, sit down with an artist, and if an artist is not comfortable with cover ups or revamps, try and find somebody else, because how many have we covered a cover of a cover, or they've done 2 cover ups and now we're going for laser because, again,
people have asked me before and I'm like, oh, I think Kirsten would be better for this. Or I've had even when I first started, a good friend of mine, her tattoo had faded a little bit, and then I wasn't happy. It was on her finger, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure. And I'm like, do you mind just I want her to be happy. That's my number one goal, is for my client to be happy. And if it's not something that I'm comfortable with, and your artist should tell you if they're not comfortable with it. But again, I'm grateful for my sister-in-law, who's like, whatever, I don't even care.
We all have our practice
people. So I'm really, really grateful for that, because I've done 4 cover-ups on her, and one was a rework, and the others were covers, and it definitely I feel more confident about cover-ups now.
Yeah, you need to start somewhere, right? And starting on people that really trust you and love your work, and they understand that it might not be perfect. That's like Shandik too. I've done that. So we need our people, and you build your confidence, and then you're like, okay, now I understand how to do this. And
for sure. We should have done this at the beginning of the episode, but I hope you guys like our backdrop. Kirsten bought it just for shits and giggles to see how it would look, and let us know what you think.
We might reorder a little bit of a smaller one, but for now, at least we're getting out there. And I love our mugs. She was like, I have a gift for you. I always have presents.
I'm like, stop buying me things. You're too generous. But
see? Keep telling your story one tattoo at a time.
Let us know if you want one.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, well, we're gonna start doing
merch whores.
I'm okay with merch. Stickers and coffee mugs.
So I hope that kind of clears up the differences, and can answer some of your questions if you're not sure.
Yeah, and if you guys are curious, write to us. Write on. We watch it on YouTube, but Spotify, write to us on our Facebooks or our Instagrams. If you have just questions, I have no problems just answering questions, even if you're not ready to commit to something.
We love the knowledge, obviously.
The sharing and distribution of knowledge.
Yeah.
But, so if you're ever curious about something, reach out. We will write back. It might take us a day or so, but we're here for you. That's the whole point. So, want to wrap up?
Yeah.
All right, so thank you for tuning into Skin Deep Stories. We hope you keep telling your story one tattoo at a time.
Thanks, guys.